Alright. Well, let's see, last time we managed to rescue Kagome from Koga. Now we have to head into the swamp, which is the only place that the wolf demons haven't checked for whoever's apparently pretending to be Kururugi. InuYasha tried and fell in the mud, so now we need to find a way to cross. Thankfully, we know what we need. Because it was advertised to us earlier.
Oh, 旅の方.
Let's see here. But an interesting 2 weeks since I ran this stuff through translations. Let's see. Okay. From the Google Translate results, the shop owner is saying, "Oh, traveler." From the Deep L translation, he says, "Oh, the Wayfarer." Which doesn't exactly match up, but contextually, it's similar enough. In the English version, they went with, "Oh, traveler." So, not too different between what the English version went with and the translated result I'm getting. The only difference being the Google Translate result has the dialogue end in a period, while the English version not only capitalized the T in traveler, but has an exclamation mark.
おすすめの品は漢字記なんですが、いかがです?
Let's see. According to the translation, then, from Google Translate, the shop owner continues with, "The item I recommend is snowshoes. What do you think?" The English version, he says, "Today's special will be the snowshoes. How about it?" This time, we do need them. Interestingly enough... actually, one moment. I thought there was a jingle here for the, "Hey, you have a choice that you need to make." So it's possible that was just something they added in the English version, or it's coming up in a bit. Let's see. According to the translation here, it says, "Snowshoes are 1,000 gold for each of you. Would you like to buy one?" In the English version, it's they went with, "Snowshoes for everyone will cost 1,000 total. Would you like to buy them?" Okay, there's the jingle. Let's see. The options are the first one, to buy the snowshoes, and don't buy the snowshoes, but we need them because it'll help us in the mud.
これさえあれば、どんな雪の上でも足が沈まずに歩けるという優れものなんじゃ。
Let's see. From Google Translate, the shop owner says, "With this, you can walk on any type of snow without your feet getting cold. It's a great product." While the English version, he says, "With these shoes, no matter how much snow there is, you won't sink." So, interesting context change. The English version technically comes off better because the English version specifies not sinking, which is what we need. the translate results saying without your feet getting cold, while accurate to snowshoes, doesn't exactly make a whole lot of sense for this scenario. But
それを手に取るとはお目が高い。
let's see here. The merchant ends with, "You have a good eye for picking it up." While in the English version, he finishes with, "You have a good eye to have picked those." I mean, they're similar enough. And with that, you got snowshoes. Let's see.
何かありましたらいつでもお越しください。
Let's see. Oh. And then, according to the translation, the merchant says, "If you need anything, please come anytime." In the English version, he says, "If you need anything, don't be afraid to ask." But now that we have what we need, now we need to go and find Koga. Thankfully, he comes to us. So we don't need to go into that stupid forest ever again. Let's see. According to the translation, Koga says, "You're late, aren't you?" Let's see if the Deep L translator has any different. I mean, I actually kind of like the Deep L translation result for Koga here. According to the Deep L translator, Koga says, "What the hell took you so long?" And given the aggravation in his tone, I actually think the Deep L translation result fits him better. And it's not too different from what the English version went with, which had Koga say, "What took you so long?" So, surprisingly, the Deep L translator, which has been giving me so many issues before with really terrible results, it's coming out with some pretty good ones.
これでこの上も歩けるはず。
Let's see. Oh boy. Well, both translators came out with the same thing. Kururugi apparently saying, "Now we should be able to walk on it," referring to the swamp. In the English version, they had Kururugi say, "With this, we can walk without sinking." I mean, both are fine. The English version is definitely being more direct, with "we can walk without sinking" because that was the issue. But the translation results just saying now we should be able to walk on it, considering both sides know the context, I think it's fine.
よーし、これで仲間の敵が撃てるぜ。
Honestly, though, trying to imagine Koga wearing old-fashioned snowshoes is kind of funny to me. Let's see here. Okay, both translation results are pretty similar, but there are some wording differences. From the Google Translate result, Koga is saying, "Alright, now I can avenge my friends." While according to the Deep L translator, he says, "Alright, here we go. We're going to avenge our friends." In the English version, he says, "Now we can avenge our friends." Honestly, all three versions aren't that bad. Like, I'm a little surprised. And then off goes Koga.
待って。
This should just be Kururugi saying, yeah, according to the Google Translate results, Kururugi is saying, "Oh, wait!" Which is also what the Deep L translator gives as a result. In the English version, they instead have Kururugi say, "Hey, wait!" Which I think I kind of prefer the English version here. The English version, what the English version went with, a little bit better, because it does sound a bit more like Kururugi's calling out to Koga to wait as he blitzes off.
やれやれ、せっかちなことだ。
Let's see. From Moroku, according to Google Translate, he says, "Oh dear, how impatient." From the Deep L translation, Moroku is apparently saying, "Good grief, how impatient he is." While in the English version, they instead had Moroku say, "He's got no patience." I do kind of like the Google Translate result a bit better.
とにかく後を追わないと。
Let's see. And then from Kururugi, according to the Google Translate result, is saying, "Anyway, we have to go after him." And from the Deep L translation, the same thing. The English version, they had Kururugi saying, "Anyway, we have to follow." I mean, the translated result, it definitely comes off a bit better. Uh-oh. Oh, great. Right. This is... I hate the maze here. Did I seriously not get any random encounters in here? Holy shit! I'm impressed. I usually run into a few encounters on the way here. Okay. Let's see. This doesn't really need a translation. It's just Kururugi going like, "Ah! Look who we ran into!"
あれは神楽とうつぎ。
Let's see. From the translation. According to Google Translate, Songo says, "That's Kagura and Utsugi." The Deep L translation, it has the exact same thing. Okay. Although, for some reason, the Google Translate result translated Kururugi very weirdly. And I don't even know how to pronounce it. Because it looks nothing like Utsugi, but it's supposed to be Utsugi. In the English version, Sango says that's Kagura and Utsugi, so no issue there.
甲賀君大丈夫？
Okay, the tone in Kagome's voice here definitely carries one more of concern compared to the English version. Like, from the English version, Kagome does not sound as concerned as she does here. Let's see. From both translations, Kagome says, Koga, are you okay? Which the English version does as well, but again, like, there is a noticeable difference between the voices, where the Japanese voice actress does sound more concerned.
ちゃあ、妙な技を使いやがって。
Alright, Koga, what do you say here? Because in the English version, Koga says, damn, they used a strange power. According to Google Translate, Koga says, damn it, what a strange technique. While the Deep L translation has Koga say, damn it, they're using some weird tricks. Honestly, I'm fine with all three results, because they're pretty damn similar. But it still, like, I'm pretty sure I brought this up when I did the English version last year in March. It does bring up a thing that whatever power Utsugi, and by extension Kururugi, is using is something Koga has never seen before, even though he's seen Kururugi's spiritual power, and he should know what magic is. This is something completely different. And considering what Kakuju says in the Japanese version earlier in the game, yeah, no, this is definitely something no one in the series has ever come across before.
まだ足りない。でも。
Alright, what are you saying, Utsugi? According to Google Translate, Utsugi says it's still not enough. But the Deep L translation has Utsugi saying it's not enough. But while in the English version, all he says is it's still not enough. Honestly, I am fine with the translation because it is pretty much the same as the English version. The only difference being both translation results add the demo at the end, which both translators turned out as but it could also be translated as however. And yet the English version completely decided to cut that part out. So, a little bit of intrigue here.
てめえ、何言ってやがる。
Let's see. From InuYasha. According to both translation results, InuYasha is asking, what the hell are you talking about? While the English version, weirdly enough, has InuYasha ask, what are you trying to say? So, just given InuYasha's character, I'd go with the translation results of, what the hell are you talking about? The difference with the translation results I'm getting is Google Translate has it end on an exclamation, which is what the text on screen has, while the DeepL translation result has it end on a question mark. But considering the English version had InuYasha ask, "What are you trying to say?" with a question mark at the end, who knows?
久しぶりだね。
Let's see. Kagura. What is your translation here? Okay. There's that. Okay. According to the Google Translate result, Kagura says it's been a while. While the DL translation has Kagura saying it's been a long time. Though, considering our previous encounter with Kagura was at the entrance of the castle town, and it likely didn't take very long getting from there to Ayame Village now, so the Google Translate result's a bit better. The English version has Kagura say it's been a while, so same thing as the Google Translate result.
揃ってここへ来たということは、どうやら私たちの策にははまらなかったらしいね。
Let's see. Let's see. According to Google Translate, Kagura continues with, "Since you all came here together, it seems our plan didn't work." And now the DeepL translator is starting to shit the bed. So, not getting anything noteworthy out of that. The English version had Kagura say, "I guess you didn't fall for our tricks since you're all here." I mean, I do kind of like the translated result better. I'd probably reword it a little to, "Since you're all here, it seems our plan didn't work." Kind of a mix of the English and the English version and the translation.
策ってやっぱりお前たちの仕業だったんだな。
Let's see. What are you saying, Kururugi? Okay, according to Google Translate, Kururugi is saying, "So the plan was your doing after all." And yeah, DeepL's not working anymore. Great. The English version, Kururugi says, "This whole plot has been your doing, hasn't it?" I mean, contextually, they're similar enough.
引っかかる方が悪いのさ。
Let's see. Then Congress' response, according to the translator, is, "Huh, it's worse to get caught." Actually, hold on. The wording might seem a little odd, but I don't think the translation result's that bad. In the English version, Congress says that's their own fault for falling for our tricks. From the Google Translate result, responding with, "It's worse to get caught." Hmm. No, that does sound a little weird to me. The DeepL translation result, while still a bit iffy, is kind of worded a bit better. it starts weird, but the part that's actually worthwhile is Kagome saying it's the ones who fall for it that are at fault. I mean, that is close to what the English version went with, saying it's the fault of the ones who fell for it. So yeah, I don't know where Google Translate was going with it's worse to get caught, but whatever. Let's see. InuYasha. Okay, that seems a little weird. From Google Translate, InuYasha is apparently saying, you're just being selfish. Let's go! Not sure where the selfish part is coming from, but okay. The Deep L translation result is actually fitting to InuYasha's character with, you're talking out of your ass. Let's go! While the English version just has InuYasha say, that's what you think. Let's get him! Again, given InuYasha's character, him responding with, you're talking out your ass, makes perfect sense. Otherwise, the English version is perfectly fine, countering to the, it's the fault of those who fell for our tricks. And they both have barriers. Thankfully, Kururugi goes first. Doesn't matter who you go for, because this fight's on a timer. Let's see. I don't really have the power to do anything at the moment, so... We did damage, but they act like they didn't hit him. And yeah, that's kind of a thing just with Utsugi. Kagome doesn't really react anyway because her model is just always static like that no matter what, so who knows. Wait, hold on. What do you have? Nothing worthwhile. Okay. I mean, Roku can't really do anything.
うしたミノク？
はっ。キララ、行くよ。開いこ。いや。これでとどめだ。
Yeah, like there's no reaction from Utsugi. It makes the sound effects that we're not hitting. Oh, we actually did miss that. Okay.
風神の舞。
Ooh, that's. I mean, it's not gonna matter. To hell with it.
見ておれ爆雷術。なんじゃ？
はい。 流れゆく大河よ、その恵みを与えよ。
すまない。
くらえ風の傷。
See. So from the translation, InuYasha saying, "Take that, wind scar," which the English version also did. So, not bad. The Deep L translation result is terrible.
ちくしょう、外したか。
Okay. In the English version, InuYasha says, "Damn, I missed." According to the translation, he says, "Damn it, I missed." So, similar enough. Oh, this is interesting. They don't have Kururugi's portrait here when speaking. The English version does. From the translation, Kururugi is going, eh? Or, huh? While the English version instead had them say, what?
嘘だろ。僕と同じ顔。
I'm actually curious why the Japanese version doesn't have Kururugi's portrait here. That's a little interesting. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, no, we're starting to get some interesting translation comparisons. From the Deep L translation, Kururugi says, "No way! You look just like me!" From the Google Translate result, Kururugi says, "You've got to be kidding me! You have the same face as me?" In the English version, Kururugi just says, "That's my face." Needless to say, I very much prefer the Google Translate result.
これってどういう。
Let's see, from Kagome. Okay, that's a little weird coming out. What does this one do? That comes out even worse. Alright. in the English version, okay, in the English version, Kagome reacts with, "What is going on?" The Google Translate result is giving, "This is, what do you mean?" Which I think should be reworded to either, "What does this mean?" or, "This is, what could it mean?" I am a bit more inclined to go with, "What could this mean?"
"私の面に切っ先を当てるとは面白い."
Let's see. Alright, from the Google Translate result, Utsugi says, "You put the tip of your sword against my face." Interesting. While the Deep L translation result has Utsugi saying, "You hit my face with the tip of your sword." Interesting. In the English version, though, the English version is probably my favorite, just because it's a bit more insulting. In the English version, Utsugi says, "How dare you point a knife at me?" Interesting. The fact that he's calling the Tetsaiga a knife in the English version is what I really enjoy. Because it's very much like, I don't give a fuck what that sword is, it is a knife to me. Which, considering the first encounter, he deflected the wind scar without doing anything. And during the fight, he had no reaction to any of our attacks, and everyone acted like they weren't even hitting, even though he was taking damage, implying that Utsugi has so much health that it doesn't matter. And then, like, he just has no respect. Which is fitting to the character, like... I just think calling it a knife instead of a sword, according to the translations, is just kind of better to me. But, I don't know, I honestly could go for either or.
何悠長なこと言ってんだ。
Let's see, from Kagura. Huh, interesting. Different results. In the English version... In the English version, Kagura asks, "Why are you so tedious?" Which is very much implied to be directed at InuYasha and the group. But from the translation results, Kagura is directing her question to Utsugi, but it's a different question. According to Google Translate, Kagura is asking, "What are you talking about?" While according to the Deep L translation results, Kagura is asking, "What are you waiting for?" So there's definitely two ways we could take this. The "what are you talking about" from Kagura being like, would be Kagura asking Utsugi, like, why are you bothering saying anything? What about this do you find interesting? While the DL translation result could be taken as Kagura being like, why are you just standing there? Do something! Like, there's a lot that could be interpreted here.
でもここまで同じ顔だと攻撃しにくいの。
Let's see, from Shippo. According to Google Translate, Shippo's saying, but with so many identical faces, it's hard to attack. Which I do think needs to be reworded. But let's do other comparisons first. From the deep L translation, it's complete garbage. So let's ignore that one. In the English version, Shippo says, how can we attack if they look the same? So the Google Translate result, I do think is, for the most part, better. It definitely needs to be reworded, probably to, but with them having identical faces, it's hard to attack. Just sounds a bit better.
我々を惑わそうとしてるのかもしれません。
Let's see, from Moroku. According to Google Translate, he's saying maybe they're trying to confuse us. While, according to the DL translator, it's a bit garbled, but the part that would actually make sense is maybe they're trying to mislead us. Which, worded a little differently, is still pretty similar to the Google Translate result. In the English version, if I can get to it. In the English version, Moroku says they're trying to confuse us again. So the Google Translate result is technically closer. Otherwise, I could take either the English or the Google Translate result because they're just similar enough, it wouldn't really matter.
あれはただの妖怪です。
Okay, Moroku does say yokai here. Let's see. According to Google Translate, Moroku continues with, that is just a monster. Which, for the English version, should be demon, because that's how they translated yokai for the English dub. In the English version, though, Moroku instead says it's just a demon. Considering the portion before the comma in the Japanese text, I almost want to say there's supposed to be something extra there. I'm just gonna do a quick check. Because if so... Okay, no, never mind. I was gonna say, if it translated to something else, I would see about rewording Moroku's dialogue, translated dialogue to, after all, it is just a yokai. But that's apparently not the case, so having it be, it is just a yokai, is probably the best to go with.
Tada no yokai ka.
And Utsugi's response is, Just a yokai, huh? Which, in the English version, Utsugi responds with, just a demon, huh? So, pretty much the same thing, again, just change between yokai and demon. But the response is the same, either way.
ちぇ、どうも具合が良くないね。ここは一度出直すか。
Let's see. From Kagura. According to Google Translate, she's saying, I don't feel well. I think I'll try again. I don't know, that doesn't seem right to me. Okay, the Deep L translation results not any better. In the English version, Kagura says it's not working. We should leave for a while. Okay, so both translation results come off a little weird. And don't really line up with the English version. Though, that it can be expected time to time. I am aware Google Translate results aren't the best. But it's the best I can do because I can't read Japanese, I don't know Japanese, it's the best thing I've got to do translations with. And there have been instances where it's come up with entirely different results compared to the English version and does not make sense. I don't know how much this would change things, but as far as the translation goes, I would probably reword it pretty heavily. I don't know if the accuracy I'd be going with, but it's just what I think might be right. Feel free to kick me in the ass if I'm wrong about any of this. But I think from Kagura for the translation, it should have been, I don't like our chances. Let's get out of here for now. It would line up a bit with the English version of Kagura saying it's not working. Comparing with, I don't like our chances. And then the English versions, we should leave for a while with my choice of, let's get out of here for now. I don't know. That's just the best I can come up with. I'm probably pulling stuff out of my ass, but again, it's the best I can work with.
風神の舞。
うわ、なんだこりゃ。
Let's see. The translation from InuYasha is coming up as, whoa, what is this? In the English version, they have him say, what happened? I don't need to translate that, that's just Kagome being taken off guard.
何も見えない。
Let's see, from Songo. According to the translation, she's saying, I can't see anything. Which is also what the English version went with.
僕の手を引っ張るのは誰?
Okay, this is interesting. I did have a feeling that this was going to be thought dialogue, but there's no mention of InuYasha in this dialogue, while in the English version, Kururugi's dialogue is, "Who's that pulling my hand? Is that InuYasha?" According to the translation, it's just, "Who's pulling my hand?" The Deep L translation has it as, "What? Who's shaking my hand?" It is supposed to be pulling, but you could get away with having the translation be, "What? Who's pulling my hand?" So still, no idea why the English version decided to include "Is that InuYasha" in there, because his name is nowhere here.
今のうちに退散するよ。
Let's see here. Okay, English version for some context. Kagura's dialogue is, "Let's get out of here now." According to the Google Translate result, Kagura is saying, "I'll leave right now." While the Deep L translation result is having Kagura say, "I'll leave while I can." Both results can definitely be reworded. From the Google Translate result, there's two options I could go with. Either "let's leave right now" or "we're leaving right now." From the Deep L translation result, there's really only one alteration I could feasibly make with it, which would be to have Kagura say, "Let's leave while we can." I don't need to translate that, that's just Kururugi being taken by surprise. That, of all people, it's Kagura that's got his hand.
何ぼさっとしてるんだい。ほら。
Let's see. Alright, interesting translation result. Okay. In the English version, Kagura says, what are you standing around for? Hurry!" The Deep L translation result is closer, with just having Kagura say, "What are you waiting for?" But for whatever reason, it's missing the "hurry." The Google Translate result, for whatever reason, is translating Kagura's dialogue as, "What are you doing all rambling about? Come on!" I do think I'd... hang on. Give me a moment. Okay, yeah. For the Google Translate result, I would probably reword it to, "What are you doing standing around for? Come on!"
やれやれ。あんたもとんだ目にあったね。
And so Kagura is confused Kururugi for Utsugi. And just at a glance, there's not really an issue, considering the mud storm that she created. The clothes getting dirtied and covered in mud sure. And then the hair, you could get away with saying, like, all of that wind and mud flying around could have messed up Utsugi's hair. So, at a glance, I could see Kagura getting confused at this point. But coming up, we're going to be getting some interesting comparisons to the English version. Because a big thing is that in the English version, Kururugi doesn't even try to sound like Utsugi. So I'm curious what's going to happen here. But we'll figure that out. Alright, and we're back. So, let's see what Kagura has to say. According to Google Translate, Kagura says, "Oh dear, you've had a bad experience." Let's see here. The DeepL translator is garbage again. In the English version, Kagura says, "You had a hard time, didn't you?" A little interesting, because the English version definitely frames it as a question, while according to the Google Translate results, Kagura is making a statement. So I'm gonna be very curious what Kururugi's response is gonna be.
そうか。神楽は僕をうつぎだと勘違いしてるんだ。
And then yeah, like definitely this is supposed to be Kururugi thinking. Whereas in the English version, again, they don't really do anything to show differentiating between Kururugi's spoken and thought dialogue, so it kind of comes down to guesswork. But in the English version, Kururugi's thoughts are, Kagura thinks I'm Utsugi. While according to the translation, Kururugi's inner thoughts are, I see, Kagura has mistaken me for Utsugi. Which feels a bit better to me than the English version's just, Kagura thinks I'm Utsugi.
それならうつぎのふりをし通さないと。
Let's see. Then Kururugi's thoughts continue with, according to the translation, in that case, I'll have to pretend to be Utsugi. While in the English version, Kururugi's thoughts continue with, then I'll pretend to be Utsugi. Yeah, no, I definitely like the translated result of it better. Because, again, from the Japanese text, according to the translations, Kururugi Kururugi starting with I see is them catching on that Kagura mistook them for Utsugi in the situation. And with that being the case, now they have to pretend to be Utsugi, otherwise who knows what could happen. The English version, just having Kururugi go, just being so flat out, Kagura thinks I'm Utsugi, then I'll pretend to be Utsugi. It's just weird by comparison. Okay! Yes, in the Japanese version, Kururugi is actually trying to portray themselves as Utsugi, trying to sound like Utsugi and have the same mannerisms, the vocal mannerisms. No, this is a lot more interesting. This is a lot more interesting. So this makes a lot more sense for how Kururugi could pass as Utsugi around Kagura and soon Naraku. Because in the Japanese version, they actually try to sound like Utsugi. Unlike the English version, in which Kururugi keeps their same voice. So it's like, how does nobody tell that they don't even sound like Utsugi? Now it makes sense! Now it makes so much more sense! Alright, so... Kururugi's response is just... Sorry. Kururugi's response of, just... pretty much just gets translated as, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like, yeah, or yes. Let's see, I need to bring up Kagura's thing again. Okay, so the English version having Kururugi respond with yes to Kagura's question of, you sure had a hard time, didn't you? Makes sense there. From the translate result of Kagura's previous dialogue being, oh dear, you've had a bad experience. I actually don't know if I'd go with Kururugi's response here as yes or yeah, but more of like just an affirming sound, I guess.
それにしても養老族も大したことないね。
Let's see. According to the translation, Kagura says, even so, the wolf demons aren't that great. In the English version, Kagura says, anyway, the wolf demons aren't that big a deal. I mean, contextually, it's the same thing.
犬夜叉たちとぶつけて生き残った方を片付ければ手間が省けると思ったのにさ。
Let's see. According to the translation, she continues with, I thought it would save me a lot of trouble if I let them fight with InuYasha and the others, and then took out the survivor. In the English version, Kagura says, English version, Kagura says, I thought I'd make it easier for myself by allowing them to fight with InuYasha, and then I'd take care of the rest of them. I mean, again, contextually similar enough. Definitely reworded differently. Honestly, I could go with either the English version or the Google Translate results from Kagura here.
そうだな。
Yeah, there we go. It's a lot more obvious here. Kururugi is absolutely just trying to sound like Utsugi and like have the speech mannerisms. Again, unlike the English version where Sean Broadhurst and Carol Ann Day just sound like Michiru and Kagome respectively. So it's like, how is nobody catching on? Let's see. In the English version, Kururugi responds to this with, I see. According to the Google Translate result, Kururugi's response is, that's right. But I feel like, for the translation, it could be reworded as, is that right? The Deep L translation result is having Kururugi say, you're right. I I don't know if I'd go with that. Just largely based on the English version having Kururugi respond with "I see," and comparing to the Google Translate result, if that's right, I do think having Kururugi respond with having the translation be "Is that right?" comes off a little bit better to me.
頼むバレるな
Huh. Let's see here. In the English version, Kururugi's thoughts are, I hope she doesn't find me out. According to the Google Translate result, Kururugi's inner thoughts are, please don't get found out. Let's see. According to the Deep L translation, Kururugi's inner thoughts are, please don't get caught. From the Google Translate result, I could reword it to, please don't find me out. While from the Deep L translation, I could reword it as, please don't let me get caught. Either way, like, all three versions, the two translation results and the English version, are fine enough for Kururugi's inner thoughts of, like, I'm in so much shit.
それにしてもあんた見事に泥だらけだね。
Let's see. Okay. Let's see here, just for the sake of comparison. Alright, interesting result. In the English version, Kagura says, you're sure covered in mud. According to the Google Translate results, Kagura is saying, by the way, you're really covered in mud. From the Deep L translation, Kagura is apparently saying, but you, by the way, you're covered in mud, aren't you?
まあいいさ。じゃあ、私は戻るよ。
From here, according to Google Translate, Kagura says, well, that's fine. Well then, I'll be back. From the Deep L translator, Kagura says, oh well. Well, I'm going back. While in the English version, she says, whatever, I'm going back now. Honestly, again, I could take either result, either the English version or either of the two translated results, because they're fine enough. Well, that's a nice sigh of relief. Let's see here. According to the Google Translate results, Kururugi's inner thought here starts with, wow, that was scary. While the Deep L translation result is Kururugi saying, ah, that was scary. Compared to the English version, in which Kururugi instead says, or their inner thoughts are, phew, that was awful. Let's see. According to Google Translate, Kururugi's inner thoughts here are, but now what should I do? From the Deep L translator, Kururugi's thoughts continue with, but what am I going to do now? While in the English version, Kururugi continues with, but what should I do now? Again, they're similar enough. I could take either or. Let's see. Get the English version to where I need it. First off, thankfully there's a save cat. Hey.
これは宇津木の着物と仮面。これをつければ宇津木のふりができるかも。
Alright, according to the English version, Kururugi's thoughts here are, here's Utsugi's clothes and mask. I could wear them and pretend to be him. According to the Google Translate result, the translation is, this is Utsugi's kimono and mask. If you add this, maybe I can pretend to be Utsugi? I'm pretty sure instead of if you add this, it should be if I wear this. According to the DL translation result, Kururugi's thoughts are, this is the kimono and mask of Utsugi. If you put this on, maybe we can pretend to be Utsugi. Which should be reworded to, if I put this on, maybe I can pretend to be Utsugi. One moment. I just want to check something real quick. Okay. Huh. Okay. So it is actually kimono. Alright. I thought it would have been joy or something, considering, considering the joy, from at least what I remember looking up, is the traditional attire for Shinto priests. So... I actually think I'd go with a mix between the Google Translate and Deep L results to then have it say, this is Utsugi's kimono and mask. If I put this on, maybe I can pretend to be Utsugi. And with that, we are dressed as Utsugi, so hey, we're less likely to be found out. Well, you want to go down there. Let's see, English version. I need to get you to where... There we go.
Ah, 琥珀くん。琥珀くん?
Of course, Kururugi's not gonna pretend to have Utsugi's voice here because, oh, it's Kohaku. Like, maybe I can talk to him. And he'll recognize me. From the translation, Kururugi saying, oh, Kohaku. Kohaku? The English version's not too different with, oh, Kohaku. Kohaku? But there is a more noticeable not really hesitation, but delay with Kururugi saying Kohaku's name a second time compared to the English version. Which gives more the sense of Kururugi was expecting Kohaku to respond the first time, but then it's like, wait a minute, Kohaku, you okay? But the English version is, oh, Kohaku. Kohaku? Almost like an immediate follow-up, and it's like, I don't know, it just sounds weird now.
どうしたんだろう。なぜ返事をしてくれないんだ。目つきもうつろだし、なんか変だぞ。
Let's see here. Okay. According to the Google Translate results, Kururugi's thoughts are, I wonder what happened. Why didn't he reply? His eyes are blank, and there's something weird about him. From the Deep L translation, it's not too different, with Kururugi's thoughts being, I wonder what's going on. Why didn't he answer me? His eyes are also slack. Like something's wrong with him. In the English version, Kururugi's thoughts are, what happened? Why isn't he answering me? He looks stunned. Something strange. Again, I kind of like a combination between the Deep L translation result and the Google Translate result with, I wonder what's going on. Why didn't he answer me? His eyes are blank, and there's something weird about him. It sounds a fair bit better to me.
Ah, 琥珀か。無駄だよ。そいつはいつも黙りばかり。堕落の操り人形さ。
Let's see. What do you say, Kagura? According to Google Translate, Kagura... I don't know why I almost said Karaku. So according to Google Translate, Kagura is saying, oh, Kohaku. What a waste. He's always silent, a puppet of Naraku. Does the Deep L translation have anything better? Not really. In the English version, Kagura says, don't waste your time with Kohaku. He's Naraku's puppet. He never speaks. I don't know, this kind of gives a bit of a contextual difference with how Kagura views Kohaku, I think. Because the English version starts with Kagura saying, "Don't waste your time with Kohaku." But according to the translation, Kagura says, "Oh, Kohaku, what a waste." Almost like she's saying that it's a waste what happened to him. The English version following up with, "He's Naraku's puppet. He never speaks." Compared to the Google Translate results, "He is always silent, a puppet of Naraku." They're similar enough, but definitely the first part does seem contextually different. And no need to continue that further. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I did try going down, and I don't remember if that gets a response. No, it's just a blank wall. Okay. There is another door there. I don't remember if that can be interacted with. No. Okay. Alright. In the English version, Kururugi dialogue for their thoughts is, "There's Naraku." While according to the Google Translate results, Kururugi's thoughts are, "That's Naraku." Yeah, the DeepL translation's not too different. With, "That's Naraku."
Kagura から養老族の森での話は聞いたぞ、うつぎ。
Let's see here. From Naraku, according to Google Translate, he's saying, "I heard the tale of the wolf demon tribe in the forest from Kagura, Utsugi." According to the Deep L translation result, Naraku is saying, "From Kagura, I heard your story in the forest of the wolf demon tribe, Utsugi." In the English version, Naraku says, "Utsugi, Kagura told me what happened in the woods with the wolf demons." I kind of like the Google Translator result. But I think a different result I can think of using that is, "Kagura told me what happened in the forest of the wolf demons, Utsugi." Or, "Kagura told me what happened with the wolf demons in the forest, Utsugi."
InuYasha 謎に手こずるとはな。
According to the Google Translate result, Naraku continues with, "I can't believe you're having trouble with InuYasha." While the Deep L translation result is having Naraku say, "I can't believe you're having such a hard time with InuYasha." I mean, they're close enough. In the English version, Naraku says, "I can't believe you had such a hard time with InuYasha." So the English version's pretty close to the Deep L translation result. Between the three of them, I actually kind of prefer the wording that the English version went with. Like, you actually had a hard time with InuYasha, considering what happened when you first encountered him? I'm a little surprised. I find that a little hard to believe.
どうしよう。奈落も僕をうつぎだと勘違いしてるようだけど。
Kururugi's inner thoughts. Let's see. Translations, just for the sake of it. Okay, the Deep L translation didn't start out too bad, but then it just kind of dropped the ball. The Deep L translated result has Kururugi's inner thoughts as, "What should I do? Naraku too said I was Utsugi. I think you have the wrong book." So I definitely would not go with that one. The Google Translate result instead has Kururugi's thoughts be, "What should I do? Naraku also seems to mistake me for Utsugi." In the English version, Kururugi's thoughts are, "What should I do? Naraku thinks I'm Utsugi too."
どうした、うつぎ。
Let's see. On the Google Translate results, Naraku's dialogue here is, "What's wrong, Utsugi?" Which is also what the Deep L translation result is giving me, and it's also what the English version went with. Kind of. English version went with, "What's wrong with you, Utsugi?" But I do think just, "What's wrong, Utsugi?" is fine.
ダメだ。逃げられない。今はうつぎのふりをしなくちゃ。
Let's see. According to Google Translate results, Kururugi's thoughts come out as, "It's no use. I can't escape. Now I have to pretend to be Utsugi." According to the Google or the Deep L translation results, Kururugi's thoughts are coming out as, "No, I can't escape. Now I have to pretend to be Utsugi." I am liking the Google Translate result better. From the English version, though, Kururugi says, "I can't run away. I have to keep pretending I'm Utsugi." I do feel there's a bit of a difference contextually between the two. The English version having Kururugi say, "I can't run away," could be interpreted as there's nowhere to escape, but also an implication that Kururugi's resolved to not run. And then I have to keep pretending I'm Utsugi. While the Google Translate result is, "Now I have to pretend to be Utsugi." It's like, no, I thought I could pretend to be Utsugi to get out of here, but no, now I actually have to keep with it. I have to pretend I'm Utsugi.
予想しなかった。あそこまでとは。
God damn, no, that actually is a pretty close voice. I actually have to wonder if, for the Japanese version, Utsugi is voiced by Kururugi as well. Actually, I think I can look that up. One moment. So I think the Japanese voices for the characters are... Now, okay, here we go. Yeah, okay. For Michiru Kururugi, he's voiced by Takashi Kondo, who's probably most famous for voicing Terry Bogard. Kagome Kururugi is voiced by Ryoko Nagata. Damn, she's been in a lot of stuff. Yeah, no. Holy crap, I'm impressed. Looks like her last role, though, was in 2021, though. That's unfortunate. But Utsugi, male Utsugi is voiced by Katsuyuki Konishi, while female Utsugi is voiced by Atsuko Tanaka. Katsuyuki Konishi. Let's see. No surprise, they both had a bunch of extra roles. Sadly, no one knows the English voices for Utsugi or for Kakuju, but we have the Japanese voices for Kakuju. Oh. Well, that's unfortunate. Atsuko Tanaka passed away last year. Well, that's unfortunate to find out. Shit. Anyway. Fuck, did I... Let's see. Okay. Somewhat interesting translation results. In the English version, Kururugi says, "Never imagined they were that strong." According to the translations... the first part comes out fine to me. Because both translators have the first part as "I didn't expect it." The last part is what I'm not really getting. From Google Translate, it's translating it as, "What do you mean, that far?" But the Deep L translation has it as, "I didn't know it was that far." I need to take this apart and see what I can do. Huh. Okay, so considering the "I didn't expect it" is in both translation results, that one I'd keep, but the other one I need to try and figure out. They both mention "that far." I almost want to think it should be... I didn't think they'd come that far, or something. Just trying to go off of the English versions of "Never imagined they were that strong." So it should have something to do with their strength. I didn't expect it. I didn't think they'd get so far. Or probably I could just go with I didn't expect it. They were quite strong. Just to try and line up with the English version? I don't know. That's just kind of the best I can do.
まあいい。次はリンという娘を探せ。
Let's see. Okay. According to the Google Translate results, Naraku says, well, okay. Next, find a girl named Rin. Let's see. From the Deep L translation, Naraku's response is, I'm not sure. Next, find a girl named Rin. In the English version, Naraku says, anyway, next you need to find a girl named Rin. I think for the first part, instead of well, okay, or I'm not sure, it could be Naraku saying, whatever. And then gives the next objective. Next, find a girl named Rin, which is in both translation results, with the English version saying, next you need to find a girl named Rin. Which, whatever, I could go with the English or the translated results. They're fine in that regard.
Kagura.
One moment. I don't need to translate this. It's just Naraku calling to Kagura.
Nanda.
Still fucking weird that she comes from the left side of the screen when Utsugi's blocking the only door in or out of the room. And we walked past Kagura, who was with Kohaku. That's just fucking weird to me. In the English version, Kagura just kind of gives an annoyed, what? But according to the translation here, from Google Translate, and the Deep L translation result, Kagura questions, what is it?
Utsugiを手伝え。
Let's see here. Interesting. From the Google Translate results, Naraku is saying, help me with Utsugi. The Deep L translation result is help Utsugi, which is also what the English version went with. But I do think a better rewording from Naraku would be assist Utsugi.
やれやれ。今度は子守かい?
Let's see. Kagura. According to the Google Translate results, is saying, oh dear, now I have to babysit. Which is interesting. The Deep L translation result, I'm going to ignore. The English version, instead, has a complete change with Kagura saying, you say it like it's so easy, but whatever, I'll go. Very, very different from the translations, oh dear, now I have to babysit.
それじゃ送っていくからこっちへ来な。
But honestly, I do kind of like the translated result of Kagura saying, now I have to babysit. Because it just kind of... It feels like it fits with Kagura's kind of mocking tone. Let's see. In the English version, Kagura continues with, okay, I'll take you. Come with me. Both of the translation results did come out a little weird. The Deep L translation result has Kagura saying, I'll take you home then. Come here. While the Google Translate result has Kagura saying, well, I'll take you home then, so come over here. I don't know why home is there in either translated result. So I definitely reword it to I'll take you there then.
Narakと手を組もうなんて、あんたも物好きなやつだよ。
Let's see here. Interesting. In the English version, Kagura says, it's very curious that you would team up with Naraku. According to the Google Translate result, Kagura says, you're a strange guy wanting to join forces with Naraku. The Deep L translation result has Kagura say, I can't believe you would join forces with Naraku. You're a real sucker for them, aren't you? I don't know why the Deep L translation has that, but, I'm honestly not sure which one I like better from the English version or the Google Translate result.
Let's
see. Kagura continues with, according to the translation. Well, okay. A girl named Rin should be around here. Go find her. From the Deep L translation result, Kagura is apparently saying, oh well, I'm sure there's a girl named Rin around here. Go find them. Or go find her. In the English version, Kagura continues with, anyway, the girl Rin should be around here. Let's get her. So, definitely as far as the translation results go, the Google Translate starting with, well, okay, doesn't make sense. So I'd either use the Deep L translation results, oh, well, at the start, or either have the well, okay changed to anyway, like the English version, or whatever. As for the rest of it, could probably do a slight bit of rewording. With the Google Translate result, either changing a girl named Rin should be around here to the girl named Rin should be around here, go find her. Or go with the Deep L's, I'm sure the girl named Rin is around here. Go find her. Either of those I'm fine with.
いいだろう。
And once again, like the Japanese version of Kururugi sounding closer to Utsugi, as they should, considering they're pretending to be Utsugi. The English version dropped the fucking ball! According to the Google Translate result, Kururugi says okay. The Deep L translation result has Kururugi say good. The English version, Kururugi says sure. I do think I'd reword the translation result, either to say fine or very well. Just kind of given Utsugi's character, either of those responses sound better.
そうだ。外を歩き回るなら仮面を取らないと。
And then it makes a bit more sense for Kagura to just fly off then, because the English version, she says, let's find her. But from the translation results, Kagura was telling Utsugi to find Rin. So from the Japanese version, it makes more sense. Kagura tells Utsugi to go find Rin, and then Kagura just kind of flies off to stay in the area for whenever Utsugi needs to be picked up. Whereas the English version, Kagura saying, let's find her, as if they're both trying to find Rin. Just given Kagura's character doesn't make sense. Anyway, let's see here. Kururugi's inner thoughts. According to Google Translate, needs to be reworded. Okay, let's... Okay, English version for comparison's sake. Kururugi's thoughts are, I should take off the mask while I'm walking around. The Google Translate result, verbatim, has it as, yes, if you're going to walk around outside, you have to take off your mask. While the Deep L translation result is, yes, if you want to walk around outside, we need to take off our masks. I very much would reword the translation results to, all right, if I'm going to walk around outside, I should take off my mask.
このまま人に出会ったら大変なことになりそうだし。
Let's see. Then continues with, according to the translation, if I were to encounter someone like this, it would probably be terrible. The Deep L translation is broken there. The English version continues with, if anybody sees me, it could cause trouble. Yeah, the Google Translate result is better, just with a little bit of rewording. If I were to encounter someone like this, instead of it would probably be terrible, change it to it could probably cause trouble. Well, and we found Rin, but before we progress, I think this is a good time to take another quick break. And we're back. Hello, Luna. Thanks for joining the stream. Sorry I didn't respond sooner. I'm just kind of doing a bunch of shit with this. I got the game on one monitor, and then the other monitor, I'm flipping between video recording. I am recording the stream so that I can put it up on YouTube as an archive, but I've got the game on one screen, and then I've got my other monitor, which I flip between Google Translate so I can throw up the images, and my English version playthrough that I did so that I can pull up the comparison. Wasn't sure if you were doing some kind of job. Nah. It's just that I've got so much shit going on with this. So I do apologize. I do apologize. But, no, thanks for showing up. Let's see. Right. Speak to Rin.
君、リンちゃん?
Let's see. According to the translation, Kururugi says, I don't know what the hell is going on with that translation result. Because, God, that is broken. Okay. No, the translations or results are actually pretty bad on both ends. In the English version, Kururugi is saying, "Excuse me, are you Rin?" The Japanese was Kimi, Rin-chan. Which, the best I could think of would be, from a translation is, are you Rin?
そうだよ。
Let's see. From the translation here, Rin's response is, that's right. In the English version, he responds with, huh? Yes, I am.
そうか。何してるのかな?
From Kururugi, according to the Google Translate results, is saying, I see. What are you doing? The Deep L translation result isn't too different. Instead of, what are you doing? It's, what are you doing? In the English version, Kururugi responds with, really? What are you doing? Like, just going off of the Japanese text, I would prefer the Google Translate result for Kururugi's dialogue.
お花を集めてるんだよ。たくさん集めて花束にするの。
So this is my first time hearing Rin's Japanese voice. And I think it's fine. I'm just so much more used to her English voice. That hearing this is just like, this just kind of sounds like too generic young anime girl. the English one, Rin's English voice actress, did sound a bit unique for the character. I don't know. The English voice is just more recognizable to me for Rin. Then again, I could pretty much say that for any of the characters in this series. As far as the original 6 seasons of the anime are concerned. Because fuck the final act. I am never gonna watch that dub. Whereas compared to the Japanese voices, this is my first time hearing most of them. Some of them, I actually kind of prefer the Japanese voices, like with Kagura and Koga. Rin, though, is just... I don't know. I don't know whether I prefer, like, if I really like her Japanese voice at the moment. I'd have to get used to it. Anyways, translating for Rin. According to Google Translate, Rin is saying, I'm collecting flowers. I'll collect a bunch and make a bouquet. In the English version, she says, I'm picking flowers. I'm going to make a bouquet. Which, not that far off from the translated result, but I do think the translation adds a bit more. Let's see.
奈落はこんな子をどうするつもりなんだろう。
Let's see. And from here. Ah! I'm sorry, what? Translation, what are you trying to do? What? I'm sorry, give me a moment. I need to recover from this. Because the translation result gave me something super weird. That gives a huge implication to Naraka. Oh no. Hold on. I just need to keep this for a bit. Because I want to make a post about this at some point. Okay, so in the English version, Kururugi's thoughts are, I wonder what Naraku is going to do with her. The translation result that I'm getting for Kururugi's inner thoughts are, Naraku likes this kind of child. What is he planning to do? This raises so many questions! Because Kururugi has no idea why Naraku sent them out here to kidnap Rin. Kururugi's just for some context for Luna, Kururugi is out here to kidnap Rin because Kururugi got mistaken for someone else, and so by the name of Utsugi, who has their face. So Kururugi has to pretend to be Utsugi because otherwise bad shit will happen to them. So in order to keep up the charade, Naraku was like, hey, go kidnap this girl. One moment. Alright, sorry about that. So, Yeah, all Naraku said is, I need you to get this girl named Rin. That's it. Nothing else. Kururugi has never met Rin before, and has no idea what Naraku's planning. So if this translation result is not all accurate, there's a lot of implications that Kururugi is probably taking here. And I find it both disturbing and hilarious. I do feel like, though, the translation result is worded very poorly. Let's see, looking at the translation result again, how can I fix this to not look so bad? Okay. So I think rewording this whole translation, because once again, the translated result I'm getting is Naraku likes this kind of child. What are you planning to do? The rewording, given the entire situation, I feel should be, what could Naraku be planning for a child this kind? That's the best I can come up with. If anyone who knows Japanese better could actually translate this, and maybe it won't turn out as bad as the translation result was giving me, we could try to mess with that.
あのさ、お花を集めるの手伝おうか?
Okay, from the Google Translate result here, Kururugi is asking, can I help you gather the flowers? While in the English version, Kururugi asks, do you want me to help you pick flowers?
本当？嬉しいな。
Isn't the first kanji the name of the person? Yes, it did start with Kururugi saying or thinking Naraku's name, but there is also a way to there is a way that Japanese is read, at least when it comes to translating it, that you pretty much have to work backwards most of the time. Let's see. I'm just gonna pull the thing back up. So Naraku's subject, this kanji. Yeah. Yeah, so the translation from that was Naraku liked this kind of child. That's the result it gave me, but considering that comes off really badly, there are Yeah, one moment, I'll send it to you. Limited knowledge, but I can put some of it together. Yeah, I just sent it to you. Just to bring it up again, the English version from the screenshot that I sent you, Luna, is Kururugi's dialogue being, "I wonder what Naraku is going to do with her." That's the English version's basis that you're going to be going off of. I'm just using it as a comparison. So there is the sense that, like, Kururugi's wondering why Naraku wants Rin. So that is somewhere in the translation. But again, the Google Translate result just comes off super fucking weird. And I'm just like, there's no way I would ever use that. There's no way that's right. And until Luna comes up with a response to that screenshot, let's see. Right. Kururugi asking if they could help Rin with the flowers. In the English version, Rin responds with, "Really? Thank you." According to the Google Translate result, Rin's response is, "Oh, really? I'm happy." Which I think... I don't think it should be "I'm happy," but... one moment. Been something kanji before... I don't think I have the... you'd have to go back in the VOD for that. But I'm pretty sure the kanji you're asking about is supposed to be child. Yeah, okay, apparently the pronunciation for the kanji you're looking for is ko, which translates to child. What does kanji name intend to do with the child? Yeah, okay. What does Naraku intend to do with this child? Yeah, that's pretty much what I figured it would likely be, or something close to that. But the one moment, I will send you an image of the translated result that it gave me, so that you can see Okay, no, never mind. I don't know why. But Google Translate just properly translated the... It just suddenly properly translated what Kururugi's thoughts were for that scene, being, what is Naraku going to do with a child like this? Could also be girl. Yeah, it could be, but again, Luna, I just sent you the screenshot of what Google Translate suddenly decided to properly translate it as. So Google Translate, very fucky. Let's see. Let's get back to this bit with Rin. Okay, right. Kururugi asked if Rin would like them to help with collecting flowers for the bouquet. The translation for Rin is coming up as, oh, really? I'm happy. Though, considering the English version, she says, really? Thank you. I do think the translation should also be, oh, really? Thank you. Actually, no, because taking it apart and putting it in translates the last bit as I'm so happy. So, I guess the translation would be, oh, really? I'm so happy. The last literal translation. True. There's definitely been instances where I've come across really weird shit with this game trying to translate.
で、どうすればいい?
Alright, from Kururugi. That first bit is just them, it's just Kururugi giving a nod of confirmation that, yeah, they'll help. And then the rest of it is, so, what should I do? In the English version, Kururugi says, what should I do?
じゃあ色の違うお花を6つ集めてきて。
One moment. Luna, just for a bit of context, this was the result that it was giving me before. So you can see why I was having a problem. You see why I was having a problem. Let's see, from Rin, according to Google Translate, the result is, then collect 6 flowers of different colors. In the English version, she says, well, let's pick 6 different colored flowers. But I say this every time I stream this Japanese version of the game. I can't read Japanese. I don't know Japanese. Google Translate is the best option that I have as a means to translate anything from this game. Because I don't have Rosetta Stone or any other paid service that's supposedly better. And I have the Deep L translator as a backup, which has not been all that good. But there have been moments where it's actually been a lot better than the Google Translate results I've been getting. These are just the best I can do. Japanese set up on my PC keyboard. I have that setting as well, but I just got it for the hell of it. I don't even know how to mess with it. So Rin wants us to collect flowers of 6 different colors.
6種類
Or 6 flowers of different colors. Let's see. Kururugi's response. 6 types. Well, in the English version, Kururugi asks 6 different, or repeats 6 different colors. Hold on here. Does this become types? It can also become kinds, so. So there's 6 different types, 6 different kinds, or 6 different colors to match up with the English version. Either is probably fine.
うんそう綺麗なお花じゃないとダメだよ
Let's see. And then from Rin here. According to Google Translate, Rin is saying, yeah, it has to be a beautiful flower. In the English version, she says, yes, but they have to be pretty flowers, okay?
わかった。じゃあ探してくるからちょっと待ってて。
And then from Kururugi, according to Google Translate, it says, understood. I'll go look for it, so just wait a moment. While in the English version, Kururugi says, sure, I'll go look for them. Wait for me, huh? The Google Translate result is fine. The only thing I'd change is instead of I'll go look for it to I'll go look for them. Just a better lineup with the English version, and it because Kururugi was told to find 6 flowers, so going to find them rather than it makes more sense.
はーいリン待ってるね
Let's see. From Rin. Okay, interesting. That did not turn out any better. Okay. From the English version, Rin responds with, okay, I'll wait for you. The Google Translate result has Rin respond with, yes, Rin, I'll be waiting. I think the English version is actually perfectly fine having Rin respond with, okay, and then saying, I'll wait for you. But I also don't know Rin's speech mannerisms from the manga or anime from the Japanese version, so I have no idea. Rin is clearly in the sentence. It is, but I think it's a cultural thing in Japan that kids will say their name when referring to themselves. Have a direct translation due to culture? Probably. Usually... Sorry about that. Usually, when it comes to translating stuff like that, they just... the translations just take it as when a child says their name, when speaking in Japanese, they just have it be I or me. The only instance that I've experienced where they haven't done that, because it was part of the joke, was with Clannad. I don't remember the character's name, but there's one character who has this habit of saying their, like, who just constantly says their own name, even though they're in high school, but they behave very childlike. And there's a moment where, with their sister, who calls them out, like, that they should try to stop doing that because it makes them sound childish. So they try to say other ways to refer to themselves, but then they're like, no, that's too naughty. Or something like that. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen Clannad. But yeah, no, there really isn't much of a direct translation for when a child says their own name in Japanese media or Japan in general, so it usually gets translated to just like I or me. In which case, again, the English version of the game had Rin respond with, okay, I'll wait for you. She doesn't refer to herself as Rin. Alright, and now we're being told what we need to do. From the translation, it says, when you find a flower, you can pick it by pressing the circle button in front of it. In the English version, they shortened it a lot by saying, when you find a flower, push the X button to pick it.
Ah, 綺麗な花だ。これならリンちゃんも喜ぶかも。
Let's see. According to Google Translate, Kururugi says, oh, what a beautiful flower. Maybe Rin-chan will be happy with this. In the English version, Kururugi says, wow, what a pretty flower. Rin will be happy. I'm not going to repeat this for the other ones because it is the exact same dialogue. But comparatively,
綺麗な花だ。これならリンちゃんも喜ぶかも。
comparatively, the translation of, oh, what a beautiful flower. Maybe Rin-chan will be happy with this. Compared to the English is, wow, what a pretty flower. Rin will be happy. I do kind of like the translated result a bit better than what the English version went with.
Ah, 綺麗な花だ。これならリンちゃんも喜ぶかも。あ、綺麗な花だ。これならリンちゃんも喜ぶかも。あ、綺麗な花だ。これならリンちゃんも喜ぶかも。あ、綺麗な花だ。これならリンちゃんも喜ぶかも。集めてきたよ。はい。
Let's see. According to Google Translate, interesting, it's only partially translated. Let me try something. Alright. In the English version, Kururugi says, I picked these. Here you go. According to Google Translate, Kururugi says, I've gathered them. And then ends on hi, which got translated to yes. The Deep L translator didn't do much different with Kururugi saying I collected them. And then ending on yes, but I don't think the hi should be translated as yes here. So I think I'd borrow from the English version's Here You Go and have the full translation be I've collected them. Here.
綺麗。お兄ちゃんありがとう。
And now we start getting into some of the interesting translations, because Rin just called Kururugi Oni-chan. If you're playing as the girl character, Rin says One-chan. The full translated result is, wow, beautiful. Thank you, big brother. Or big sister if you're playing as Kagome. But in the English version, they only have Rin say, oh, they're so beautiful. Thank you. Now, yes, there is a point later on where Rin starts referring to Kururugi as big brother or big sister. Again, depending on whether you're playing as the boy or the girl. Cultural differences, I think. But I do think the fact that she starts calling Kururugi Oni-chan at this point makes it interesting that she already starts considering Kururugi as an older sibling. Granted, yes, it could also just be a cultural thing, like another way of referring to Kururugi as Mr. or Miss if you're playing as Kagome. But considering in the English version, they do have her say big brother or big sister, I am pretty sure they're trying to get that point across, that Rin, I think it's just non-GP, don't like to think about people getting attachment too fast. I mean, yeah, that's definitely true. That would absolutely be true. I just find it interesting that that they do it like this. Like, if you want some of the weirder shit, Luna, you can check my VOD on my YouTube channel. The second video for the Japanese version of the game goes into some wild shit that the English version actually completely cut because of conversation between Kururugi, Kagome, and InuYasha. And it's like, why would they cut this? Might retreat to tea and reading. No worries. Let's see.
どういたしまして。それで、その花どうするんだい?
From Kururugi, according to Google Translate, they're saying, you're welcome. So, what are you going to do with those flowers? In the English version, Kururugi responds with, you're welcome. What are you going to do with those flowers? I do kind of like the translations, the wording from the translated results, just because it sounds a bit more natural to go with you're welcome. So, what are you going to do? Rather than just, you're welcome. What are you going to do?
焚き火の 飾って殺生丸様に見てもらうの。
The first part is just Rin nodding with a big smile. But then the rest of it is, we'll display it by the bonfire and show it to Lord Sesshomaru. While in the English version, she says, I'd like to put them around the bonfire and show them to Sesshomaru. Again, I still find it kind of hilarious that there's only one instance of Sesshomaru being referred to as Lord Sesshomaru, and it's by Jockin, and every other time, whether by Jockin or Rin, they do not call him Lord Sesshomaru in the English version, even though in the anime, for the English dub, they do. It's fucking weird.
Sesshomaru?
And then Kururugi, taken completely off guard, in the English version, Kururugi's response is, what? Sesshomaru? While, the Google Translate result is, huh? Sesshomaru?
とっても強いんだよ。
And then Rin just happy, smiling nod. Follows up with, he's really strong. In the English version, Rin says, yes, he is very strong. And there's definitely a tonal difference between how Rin says it in the English version versus the Japanese version. Like, you could hear from the start that she was trying to express just how strong he is. Whereas in the English version, the tone is just, he is very strong. It's just so flat in the English version.
So なんだ.
Let's see. From Kururugi. According to Google Translate, Kururugi's response is that right? While in the English version, they just have Kururugi say, I see.
もしかしたら奈落はこの子を利用して殺生丸をどうにかするつもりなのかも。
And now Kururugi's piecing shit together. Okay, now I need to try that again. One moment. Let's see. Is this any better? Oh, jeez, why did this turn out so much better when taking the screenshot this way? Holy shit. Okay, so according to Google Translate, Kururugi's thoughts are, maybe Naraku is planning to use this child to do something to Sesshomaru? While in the English version, Kururugi's thoughts are, I wonder if Naraku is going to use her to get at Sesshomaru. Contextually, the English version and the Google Translate result aren't too different, but I do prefer the wording of the Google Translate result, especially considering the Japanese text ends in a question mark, which the translated result carries over as well, but the English version doesn't.
お兄ちゃんどうかしたの？怖い顔してるよ。
Hold on, did you just ask if Kururugi was scared? I beg your pardon? This is an interesting translation result. Oh, hold on. I need to double check this one. I need to double check this because I know for a fact the English version is... Yeah, okay, no, the English version is very different here. Context. In the English version... If I could get to it. Okay. So in the English version, Rin asks, "What's wrong? You look worried." From the Google translated result that I'm getting, Rin is asking, "Big brother, what's wrong? You look scary." So this is a tone difference as well between Rin and Kururugi. The English version having Rin say that Kururugi looks worried over what they're thinking, versus the Japanese version of Rin saying that Kururugi looks scary while they're thinking. Which I think changes the gravity of where Kururugi's thoughts are going. No, this... Ooh, this comes out a little interesting to me. Let's see. So, this very much changes a bit of tone and context between Kururugi, Rin, and Sesshomaru. With the English version of Rin saying that Kururugi looks worried, there's definitely the implication there that where Kururugi's thoughts were going, of if Naraku, I wonder if Naraku is going to use her to get at Sesshomaru, is Kururugi getting worried about what would happen with Rin. But from the Japanese version, with Rin saying that Kururugi looks scary, when Kururugi's thoughts were maybe Naraku is planning to use this child to do something to Sesshomaru. Given a certain past interaction between Kururugi and Sesshomaru, very much shows that Kururugi does not like Sesshomaru. Kururugi having a scary face here could suggest that the thought that Naraku is trying to use this child to get to Sesshomaru is Kururugi starting to get angry that Sesshomaru is getting Rin involved in any way. That if it weren't for Sesshomaru, Rin would not be in danger right now. That seems to be where Kururugi's line of thought is going. Again, just based on what Kururugi's previous thought was, and Rin saying that Kururugi looks scary.
なんでもないよ。
Like this. Ooh. This gives an interesting dynamic. This actually gives an interesting dynamic. And then the translation here from Kururugi is them saying, "Oh no, it's nothing," trying to keep Rin from worrying. In the English version, Kururugi just says, "Oh, it's nothing." So yeah, English version is Kururugi trying to keep Rin from getting worried about over their own worrying. Japanese version, Kururugi trying to get Rin to relax and not be scared of them. Because Kururugi's had a scary face.
そうあ、そうだお兄ちゃんも一緒に来ない？
Let's see. In the English version, Ren responds with, okay. Oh, yeah, do you want to come with me? Okay, the Google Translate result came out a bit weird. The deep L translation is also kind of broken, but I do like the last bit it has. So let's see about piecing things together. So the Google Translate result has Rin saying, yes. Ah, that's right. Will your brother come with us too? So two things. The yes needs to be replaced with something. Because that doesn't sound like an appropriate response to Kururugi's it's nothing. And then, of course, the last one of, will your brother come with us too, is just worded badly. So I do think I'd do an amalgamation between all three. Start with the English versions, okay. And then the Google Translate result of, ah, that's right. And then the part from the Deep L translation that I got, that I actually kind of like, is, why don't you come with me, big brother?
どうしよう。
Let's see from here. Okay, the English version is similar enough to the Google Translator result. Just, again, the English version is really bad at portraying whether or not a character is speaking or thinking, because the Japanese version uses the brackets for thought dialogue, but the English version doesn't do shit. In the English version, Kururugi's thoughts are, what should I do? But ends on a question mark. From Google Translate, Kururugi's thoughts are, what should I do? With 3 ellipses. Or with an ellipses. Because, like, they're like, oh, like, Rin needs to be kept safe. But I don't know what Sashomaru might do if he sees me in this outfit. But I also don't want to make Rin sad. If I said no and walked away. And then I don't know what Kagura would do. And we do have an option either to agree or not, but to progress the story, you have to say yes.
じゃあ一緒に行こうかな。
The options are just go with Rin or don't go with Rin. Let's see. From here, the translation from Google Translate has Kururugi say, yeah, then let's go together. Which, starting with yeah there, is a perfect follow-up to Rin's question of why don't you come with me? from the DeepL translation result that I had. In the English version, Kururugi says, "Okay, I'll go with you."
本当嬉しいな。殺生丸様たちはこの道の先にいるよ。
Let's see. According to Google Translate, Rin is saying, "Really? I'm so glad. Sesshomaru-sama and the others are just up the road." While in the English version, she says, "Really? That's great. Sesshomaru is at the end of this road." I do think road could be reworded to path just because of the use of Michi. And then of course the translator turning out translating Sesshomaru-sama as Lord Sesshomaru or transliterating to Sesshomaru-sama as whatever. This, I think, should just be Rin saying I'm back, because that is what she says in the English version. Okay, not exactly. The Google Translate result has Rin saying I'm home, which... I mean, yeah, Tadaima is what you'd say in a situation like this, but I do think translating it as I'm home wouldn't be accurate, so going with the English versions, I'm back, works better. But I do think with that, we're going to take another quick break. Alright? Well, like Rin said, Tadaima, we're back.
遅かったな、リン。ん？その小僧は。
Let's see. From Jokin. According to the translation to Google Translate, he is saying, "You're late, Rin." Ugh, that kid. In the English version, they instead have Jokin say, "You're late, Rin." Huh? Who's that boy? Which, again, is another change between the English and Japanese version. The English version suggests that Jokin doesn't recognize Kururugi. But from the Japanese version, Jokin does, and it's like, "Oh, shit, not you again."
これを集めるのを手伝ってくれたの。
According to Google Translate from Rin, she's saying, "Yeah, he helped me collect these." In the English version, Rin responds with, "Oh, I got help picking these flowers."
Hanaka.
Okay, one moment. I don't know if anyone was hearing that barking earlier, but Puppy apparently has a thing of running up to my door when it's closed and trying to get my attention even though roommate's home. Anyway. There's some good context with the Japanese version, if the translation of Rin saying he helped me collect these and then running up to Jokin, showing the flowers that we helped get for her. While the English version, she directly says, I gotta help picking these flowers before going to show them. Or before going to show them to Jokin. In the English version, Jokin says flowers, huh? And according to Google Translate, it's not too different. Jokin saying flowers. Huh?
ここにこうやって飾れば、ほら、綺麗でしょ?
Let's see, from Rin. According to Google Translate, Rin says, yes, if you display it here like this, look, it looks pretty. In the English version, she says, yes, I want to put the flowers all around, like this. Isn't it pretty?
こらこら、そんな役にも立たんものを置くでない。殺生丸様に叱られるではないか。
Let's see. Okay, I do think the translate result's a little odd. In the English version, Jokin responds with, no, don't put those useless things around the fire. Sesshomaru will be mad. But the Google Translate result has Jokin saying, here. Don't leave such useless things lying around. Lord Sesshomaru will scold you. Okay, for a moment, I thought Jokin starting with here was going to be a little weird, but I think there's supposed to be a context that after Rin was putting the flowers down, Jokin started picking them back up, being like, don't do that. While in the English version, Jokin's trying to scold Rin and then add on that Sesshomaru will be mad.
そんなことないよ。きっと殺生丸様は喜んでくれるもん。
And then from Rin, according to Google Translate, Rin's response is, that's not true. I'm sure Lord Sesshomaru will be pleased. In the English version, Rin says, no, he won't. I think he'll like it. So, definitely, they decided to change Rin's response because of what they decided to change from Jokin. In the English version, Jokin says Sesshomaru will be mad. So Rin responds with, no, he won't. I think he'll like it. The Japanese version, Jokin says Sesshomaru will scold her. And Rin responds with, "That's not true. I'm sure he'll be pleased." So definitely an interesting change there.
Ah, 殺生丸。
Now we're about to get to what I believe should be one of the interesting translations based on what's in the English version. But from here, Kururugi just says, "Oh, Sashomaru." While in the English version, Kururugi says, "Oh, Sashomaru." But it's interesting because I actually thought this would have been thought dialogue from the English version, because I just didn't think Kururugi would be the type to, I guess, address Sashomaru. Given it's actually, no, I can't really say given their past interaction, because in the castle, Kururugi wasn't as hostile towards Sashomaru as they are in the Japanese version. I don't know. I just didn't think Kururugi would say this out loud. I thought this would have been thought dialogue, but okay, whatever.
ねえ、このお花を見て。お兄ちゃんが摘むのを手伝ってくれたんだよ。
Let's see. From Rin. Okay, the translated result's a little weird. But, let's see what we can make of this. The Google Translate result has Rin saying, "Hey, look at these flowers. My brother helped me spin them." Which I'm pretty sure is supposed to be, "Hey, look at these flowers. Big brother helped me collect them." In the English version, sorry about that. In the English version, Rin says, "Look at these flowers. He helped me pick them." And Sashomaru says nothing.
ねえ、殺生丸様。お兄ちゃんにここにいてもらってもいい？
And then from Rin, according to Google Translate, Rin says, "Hey, Lord Sashomaru, can I have my brother stay here?" I'm pretty sure it should be reworded as, "Can I have Big Brother stay here?" Or, "Can Big Brother stay here?" One of those two. In the English version, Rin says to Sashomaru, "Can he stay here, please?"
そんなものダメに。
And from Jokin, according to Google Translate, Jokin is saying, "That's no good." But in the English version, Jokin says, "I don't think
好きにしろ。
And from Sesshomaru, according to Google Translate, he's saying, do whatever you like. While the English version has him say, do as you like. Just given his character, could go with either or.
え、殺生丸様よろしいので。
And then from Jokin, okay, I don't know why it chose to translate the start as that, but whatever. I'm not gonna repeat that. The Deep L translator has a better start. Of Jokin going, huh? And then the Google Translate results continuation being, is that alright with you, Sesshomaru-sama? While in the English version, Jokin responds with, what? Are you sure, Sesshomaru?
よかったねお兄ちゃん。
According to Google Translate, Rin is saying, wow, good for you, big brother. In the English version, they instead have her say, I'm so glad you can stay.
殺生丸、ありがとう。
See. This should just be thank you, Sesshomaru. Yep, that's exactly what it turned out to be. And that's also what the English version does. Sesshomaru just kind of scoffs. No response otherwise.
いつもこうなんだよな。
In the English version, Kururugi's thoughts are, it's always like this. Because Sesshomaru never addresses Kururugi. According to the translation, though... Oh, wow! No, that is the translation. Kururugi's inner thoughts are, it's always like this. But that's not the one that interests me. Let's see. Which was the next one I did in the English version? Yeah, here we go. This should be interesting.
殺生丸様がなぜお前なぞを気にかけるのかさっぱりわからん。
So in the English version, Jokin says, I really don't understand why Sesshomaru gives a hoot about you. And for some reason ends it on a question mark. According to the translation here, it definitely started with Jokin giving an annoyed huff or grumble, but then follows with, I don't understand at all why Lord Sesshomaru cares about you.
気にかける？無視してばっかりじゃないか。
Which, considering in the English version, Kururugi responds with, he cares about me? I think he's always ignoring me. Makes a bit more sense with the Japanese translated result of, I don't understand at all why Lord Sesshomaru cares about you, rather than, I don't understand why he gives a hoot about you. But... according to Google Translate, huh. No, this is... This is interesting. One moment. Moment. Because I feel like... I feel like the translators... The translation result worded it wrong. Because according to the translation result, Kururugi is asking, do you care? You just keep ignoring me. Like he's directing it at Jokin. Or like, look, the translation result is giving the idea that Kururugi is asking if Jokin cares. But... one moment here. Yeah, no, the Deep L translation result is giving similar. Like, it's partially broken, but it still has a... But it ends on a... All you do is ignore them. So it almost seems like the translations are having Kururugi question if Jokin cares, rather than whether or not Sesshomaru cares. I don't think the conversation goes any further than this.
人間の小僧などなぜ切って捨てんのか、なんとも不思議じゃわい。
Never mind. Let's see. What does Jokin say here? The Google Translate result here, verbatim, is, it's strange why they would cut down a human boy. Which I feel is very much incorrect. Or an incorrect result. And the DeepL translator is completely broken in that regard. So... Going back to Kururugi's response... I think the translation needs to be reworded. I just need it to pop up again. If the damn thing will even work. Okay. So the English version was Kururugi saying he cares about me? I think he's always ignoring me. The Google Translate result for Kururugi came out as, do you care? You just keep ignoring me. I think if this is supposed to line up with the English version, the translation should say, does he care? He just keeps ignoring me. And then for this part, translating what Jokin says as, it's strange why they would cut down a human boy makes no sense to me. The English version is Jokin saying, I don't understand why he doesn't just kill you. After all, you're just a human boy. I think to better line up with the English version, then, the translated result should say, it's strange why he wouldn't cut down a human boy.
殺生丸って一体どういう人なんだ?
Alright, what the hell are you saying here? Okay. The English version and the translated results are actually the same here, being, what kind of person is a Shomaru? But then Jokin just doesn't give an answer.
殺生丸って本当何も話さないよね。
Let's see. Alright, interesting. I do think the translated result is off. In the English version, Kururugi says, Sashomaru doesn't talk much, does he? According to the Google Translate result, verbatim, the result is saying that Kururugi is having Kururugi say, Sashomaru, I really don't talk about anything. I think it's supposed to be Sashomaru. He really doesn't talk about anything.
そうかな。
Let's see, from Rin. From Google Translate result, Rin is saying, I guess so. While in the English version, they instead have her say, you don't think so? What else could that possibly translate to? I know it can translate to other things.
Mm. でもあまり喋りすぎるよりはいいかな。
Okay, just considering the start of Kururugi's response there, I do think I would rather go with the English versions. You don't think so? For the translation of... For, Rin's translation. And then from Kururugi, according to Google Translate, is saying, yeah, but it's better than talking too much. In the English version, Kururugi says, yes, but I guess that's better than talking too much. not too different.
そうだね。でもたくさん話す殺生丸様も見てみたいな。
In the English version, Rin says, I guess so. But I'd like to see a talkative Sesshomaru too. According to the Google Translate results, Rin says, I agree, but I'd also like to see Sesshomaru-sama talk a lot.
例えば
According to Google Translate, Kururugi is asking, for example. But in the English version, they have Kururugi say, really?
お腹すいたよとかかな。
I do think the for example works because then it leads to Rin giving examples of what she'd wants the Shomaru to talk about. Although I guess the for example then could be swapped out for like what? Or about what? According to Google Translate, Rin's response is, I'm hungry or something. One moment. I'd also like to... Yeah, yeah, okay, changing, Kururugi's, the translation to Kururugi's question from, for example, to something like, what about? Or something along those lines to lead to Rin saying, I'm hungry or something. Because in the English version, Rin says he could say, I'm hungry or something like that. That's interesting. That was a stifled laugh. Whereas in the English version, Kururugi just goes, like they're thinking on it? But the stifled laugh here is like, oh, that would have been funny.
ちょっと想像してしまった
But then the translation here continuing is Kururugi saying, I just imagine that. Well, the English version, Kururugi responds with, I was just imagining that. Yeah, no, the response in the Japanese version, I do think was better. Like, Kururugi just imagines Sesshomaru saying, I'm hungry, and then he just goes, no fucking shot.
ねえ、お腹空かない？
Let's see, from Rin, according to Google Translate, she's saying, hey, aren't you hungry? Well, while in the English version, she just says, aren't you hungry?
あ、そうだねちょっと空いたかも
According to Google Translate, Kururugi responds with, "Oh, that's right. I might be feeling a bit empty." In the English version, Kururugi just responds with, "Yes, a little bit."
じゃあご飯のおかずを取りに行こう。
Let's see. Huh. That's an interesting translation. According to Google Translate, Rin is saying, "Okay, let's go get some side dishes for dinner." In the English version, she said, "Well, let's go get some food."
うん。
This doesn't really need a translation. It's Kururugi likely being a bit surprised that Rin would want to go get food. But then he's just like, okay, because someone should be looking after her. In the English version, Kururugi just says, okay.
Let's それで何を取るの?
See. According to the translation, or according to Google Translate, Kururugi's asking, "So, what are you taking?" I think that should be reworded to, "So, what are we getting?" Because that's what the English version went with. So, yeah, it just makes sense.
今日はお兄ちゃんもいるし、何か美味しいものが食べたいね。
Let's see. From Google Translate, Rin's response is, Big Brother is here today, so I want to eat something delicious. In the English version, she says, "Today you're here too, so let's eat something really yummy."
でも美味しいものってどこにあるんだろ
う? Okay, from Google Translate, the first bit is just Kururugi nodding in agreement. And then the rest is Kururugi asking, "But where's the delicious food?" In the English version, Kururugi says, "Sounds good, but where's all the delicious food?"
そうだ。
Let's see. Interesting translation result. I don't know why Google Translate has this translating as yes. In response to Kururugi's question, the English version has Rin say, "I know." but in both the English and Japanese version, she definitely has this tone of, oh, like, I have an idea.
前に大イノシシの肉っていうのを食べたことあるけど、あれは美味しかったな。
Let's see. According to Google Translate, okay, according to Google Translate, Rin continues with, I've had something called big boar meat before, and it was delicious. I think that's supposed to be wild boar meat, but you know what? Let's just check a thing real quick. Oh, that's No, that character does say big, so it is big boar meat. All right. In the English version, she says, I remember that I once ate the meat of a big wild boar. It was so delicious.
それってこの辺で取れたのかな。
Let's see. From Kururugi. The Google Translate result has them saying, I wonder if it was caught around here. In the English version, Kururugi asks, was it caught around here?
多分そうだと思うよ。
From Rin's response. Okay. According to Google Translate, Rin simply responds with, maybe so. In the English version, Rin responds with, I think so. Give me a bit. Give me a bit. Give me a bit. So the first part, Translate says perhaps, so that could be maybe. And then the second part is I think so. So the quote-unquote closer translation for Rin would be maybe, I think so.
大イノシシっていうからにはきっと山の中にいるんだろうね。
From Kururugi. According to Google Translate, their response is, if it's a big boar, or if it's a big boar, it must be in the mountains. The English version instead has, since they called them wild boars, that must mean they live in the mountains.
多分ね。あ、山はこっちから行くんだよ。
And then from Rin. According to Google Translate, Rin says, yeah, probably. Ah, the mountain comes from this way. In the English version, Rin says, I guess so. It's this way to the mountain.
あ、待って。
I don't even need to run that through a translator. That's just Kururugi saying, wait. While the English version, Kururugi says, hey, wait.
山の中は多分危険だから僕が取ってきてあげるよ。大イノシシの肉だね。
Let's see, from Google Translate. Kururugi saying, it's probably dangerous in the mountains, so I'll get it for you. Big boar meat, right? In the English version, Kururugi says it's pretty dangerous in the mountains, so I'll go get it. Wild boar meat, right?
え、本当？
I shouldn't need to run this through translator because it should just be Rin going, huh? Really? Close enough. Google Translate has it as, oh, really? English version just has her question, really?
行ってくるから、りんちゃんはここで待ってて。
And then from Kururugi. According to Google Translate, Kururugi saying, okay. I'm off now, so Rinchan, wait here. I do think the okay either should be changed to a yeah or just removed entirely because that was a nod of confirmation to Rin's question. In the English version, Kururugi says, yes, you should wait here until I come back.
ありがとう。
I don't need to translate that. That is Rin saying thank you. Or thank you so much. In the English version, she says thank you. And since we've hit the world map, I think this would be a good time to end for the day. I don't know, we had some interesting translation results. Some very interesting translation results. Thank you, Kururugi. But yeah, that'll do it. So, until next time, this has been the Azure Guardian. See ya.